Good evening to all. Welcome to this 35th lecture session of the course Heat Transfer. Today, we'll be talking about radiation heat exchange between the surfaces. So already I have given you some introduction about the radiation heat exchange of a surface. So now we will see how different surfaces actually interacts via mode of radiative heat transfer. Okay. So just one correction also I want to make while I discussed the net radiation exchange at a surface. So in one of the starting equation, there was one small mistake. So let me also correct at this moment. Once again, I'll discuss about this particular surface. So what I am considering is, say we have one enclosure, and this surface I have considered as an isothermal surface having temperature Ti, and Ai is the surface area of this surface, and epsilon I is emissivity. Now we are considering that Gi is total radiosity. Radiosity means the emissions plus amount of rays reflected. So that total is actually given as Ji, and Gi is the total energy that is incident on this surface from all other surfaces which are part of this enclosure. Okay, and say Qi is the net rate of heat transfer. So if I schematically draw this situation for only this surface, this situation is something like this, that Ji into Ai is the total energy going out, Gi into Ai is the total energy incident, and Qi is total heat transfer associated at this surface. So from the energy balance, I can write Qi equal to Ai will be coming as common. Now Ji is the energy going out minus Gi is the energy incident on this surface. Now we know that J is nothing but equal to, as I just now told you, emitted radiation by ith surface plus emissions plus reflected rays. So reflected means rho I into Gi, because Gi is irradiation. So part of this will be reflected. So that will depend upon the reflectivity of the material. Okay, minus Gi. So if I do so, you will be finding that this second equation can be also written that as Gi equal to Ai into Ei, and if I take minus Gi common over here, I will be finding 1 minus rho I. Okay, and 1 minus rho I, if I have a opaque surface, for that I can simply say that 1 minus rho I is nothing but equal to alpha I. So it will be becoming Ei minus alpha I into Gi. So these two equations are nothing but corresponding to this second situation. So here you can see that Ei into Ai is the amount of radiations emitted. Gi Ai was the total radiation falling on the surface, out of which rho I Gi into Ai is reflected, and alpha I Gi Ai is actually absorbed by the surface. So the second circuit actually gives the explanation of these equations. Okay. Now let us once again start from the basic definition of Ji only. So Ji, we know that it is equal to Ei plus alpha I, because plus rho I into Gi, because what we do, we consider radiosity to be total emissions plus reflected. So these two things makes nothing but our Ji Ai. So I can write Ji equal to Ei plus rho I into Gi. So now emitted radiations, if I know the emissivity of the surface, I can write in the form of epsilon I into Ebi, where Ebi refers to the black body radiations emitted by a black body having temperature equal to that of the surface temperature. Okay, plus in place of rho I can write 1 minus alpha I into Gi. Now we have come to know that for from our Kirchhoff law, that this alpha I can write nothing but equal to epsilon I. Okay, so epsilon I into Ebi plus 1 minus epsilon I into Gi. This I will be getting. From here, if I calculate Gi, that will become nothing but equal to Ji minus epsilon I into Ebi divided by 1 minus epsilon I. And say this is my equation number 1. in equation number 1, now I will replace the value of this GI. So if I do so, I will be finding QI will be equal to AI into JI minus, in place of GI, I will write this value. So JI minus epsilon I into EBI divided by 1 minus epsilon I. Okay, so if I now take this epsilon I divided by 1 minus epsilon I as common, here I will be finding JI minus JI into epsilon, sorry, here I will be finding JI into 1 minus epsilon I upon epsilon I. Here I will get minus JI divided by epsilon I, and this will become minus minus plus EBI. Okay, so now if you further solve this, you will be finding A1 epsilon 1 upon 1 minus epsilon I into JI by epsilon, and JI by epsilon will cancel each other, and this epsilon by epsilon will become minus 1. So I will get over here EBI minus JI. Okay, and finally I can write that QI equal to EBI minus JI divided by 1 minus epsilon I upon AI epsilon I. So this is now taking the form of electrical resistance analogy, where this QI is nothing but our equivalent to current, EBI minus JI represents the potential, and 1 minus epsilon I by AI epsilon I is becoming resistance. So you can see the analogy over here. Say QI is our total amount of heat transfer from the surface, so that will be equal to EBI minus JI divided by this resistance. So over here, if you see, now we are only talking about the net radiation exchange that is happening at a surface. Okay, so how this surface is actually interacting with the irradiations, but how these radiations are falling on the another surface and how that is interacting, that is something which we have not considered over here. Okay, so now since we are only talking about a single surface, and because of some absorption reflectivity characteristics of this surface, we are finding that the amount of irradiations, some part of these will be absorbed and some part will be reflected. So depending upon these two characteristics, actually the total radiosity of the surface will be varying. So that's why, because we are only talking about radiation exchange at a surface, we call this particular parameter as to be nothing but our surface resistance. Okay, so this we call as surface resistance, because till now we are not concerned about that what are our geometrical parameters, say what is our view factor. We are only considering that, okay, single parameter GI is known to us at the moment. Okay, so we are not concerned that how this GI is calculated with the help of view factors, etc. That we will be studying while we will be talking about radiation exchange between the surfaces. So till now, at a surface, whatever irradiation are coming, that we are accounting, and we are finding that that radiation is actually depending upon radiosity and the black body radiations at same temperature, and the surface properties, which is nothing but emissivity of the surface. Okay, so that's why this particular resistance is called as nothing but surface resistance. Now in surface resistance, we can see from here the formula of resistance. If our AI becomes infinite, under that scenario, this ratio of 1 minus epsilon I upon AI into epsilon I will be tending to 0. So it means if the surface resistance is becoming equal to 0, under that scenario, I will not be having any reflection, because all the radiations which are actually irradiations which are incident on the surface, these all will be absorbed. So under that scenario, radiosity Ji will be becoming equal to EBI, and we will not be having any surface resistance. Okay, so surface resistance is something which is associated because of the absorptivity and reflectivity of the surfaces. Okay, and we can also say that this is something which is true for a large area phase. It is behaving like a black body. When we are having a black body, in that case also we will be having this surface resistance to be 0 and Gi equal to EBI. So is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, let me discuss the radiation exchange between surfaces. Okay, so for example, say if I have some enclosure, so till now we were only concentrating on this single surface of the enclosure. Now we will be seeing that how different faces of enclosure interacts with each other. Okay, for example, this is one, two, say like that. I have n number of faces, and this is one of the face, say which we want to actually study, this ith phase. So what I want to do is I want to determine what is the value of qi, okay, and how that is actually associated with the other surfaces. Okay, so to do so, let me first consider that ai is area of the surface, ti is temperature, and say total irradiation from all the directions on this surface is nothing but gi. So till now we were saying that gi is known to us, but now we are interested in finding out the value of gi. Obviously the value of gi will be actually significant function of the view factor and orientation of the faces. Okay, so for that purpose, what we will be doing, let me first quantify the total irradiation on this surface. So total irradiation on the surface will be ai into gi. Can you tell me what will be formulation of total irradiation? From all the surfaces, now I want to determine this value of irradiation. Can I write it like this? Say J is my subscript for this individual faces, and I am considering that my value of J is varying from say 1 to n. If I have n faces enclosure, okay. So AIGI I can write as nothing but equal to AJ into FJI, where FJI represents the view factor from J to ith face, and here we have to multiply this with nothing but radiosity of the surface. So capital J over here is radiosity of these individual n number of faces, and this small j is actually our subscript, which is used to depict the n number of faces. Okay, so if I take the summation of j from 1 to n, that will be giving us actually the total irradiations which are falling on surface I. So is it clear how I have written this equation, or anyone is having any confusion?
Sir, I did not
No,
get
sir.
the FJI part.
FJI part.
JI part.
Sorry, can you say again?
Sir, I did not get the FJI part. How did we write that?
FJI, view factor. Okay. So basically what will be happening? Say this is my jth phase. From jth phase, whatever the radiations are emitting out, will all these will be falling on ith phase?
Yes, sir.
All from
No,
J.
some of them will be.
Yes, some of them will be. So what we have done in our earlier lectures, we have seen that we have a parameter f, which is called as view factor or shape factor or geometrical factor. Okay, and this view factor basically tells us the fraction of radiations leaving surface J and falling on surface I divided by total radiation leaving from the surface J. Okay, so the total radiations leaving from the surface J will be AJ into JJ, where JJ is radiosity of Jth surface, and out of that, when we are considering irradiation on ith surface, we have to only consider the radiations leaving from the Jth surface, only the fraction which is falling on ith face. So that is something which we will be calculating with the help of.
Okay, sir. I get it. I get it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So now this is the relation which I have got it. And now you can see from previous formulation, the radiation exchange at surface I can be given with the formulation Qi equal to Ai times Ji minus Gi. Okay. So if I use this general equation, I can write Qi equal to Ai into Ji minus Gi. Now, in place of AI into GI, can I write this thing? sorry, now I cannot write because here I have AJ over here. Okay, AI is not there. Okay, so let me just give it number 1 and write it here. Now, can I write this equation? Can I write this equation like this? AI into GI equal to summation J varies from 1 to N AI into Fij into JJ. Can I write it like this? Please tell me how I have written AJ into Fji equal to AI into Fij. How I have written?
Sir, we are just interchanging the subscript I to J or J to and J to I.
So if you remember the lecture of view factor, I have explained rule of reciprocity. Okay, where A1 into F12 is equal to nothing but A2 into F21. So do you remember this rule of reciprocity?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
because of this rule of reciprocity, I can write it as AI into Fij. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now if I substitute in equation 1, what I'll be getting? Qi will become AI I can take common, Ji minus, or let me use this multiply AI also individually. So AI into Ji minus this AI into Gi will become summation J varies from 1 to N AI into Fij into Jj. Okay. Now let me do one more manipulation. Can I write it like this? AI into summation of Fij for J varies from 1 to N into Ji. Can I write it this term over here like this? Why I have included this summation Fij, J varies from 1 to N over here? How I have included? Can you explain me? Any one of you? How I have written this quantity over here? Do you know the rule of summation of these view factors? Fij, J varies from 1 to N is nothing but equal to 1. Okay. Are you not referring to the earlier
Yes, sir.
lectures?
So we can, sir, why are we replacing this, sir, to take the common out of it?
Yes.
Okay. So we are just replacing 1 with summation of.
Fij, J varies from 1 to N. Okay. So from here I can say that Qi will be equal to nothing but AI times summation of J varying from 1 to N into Fij, okay, and Ji minus Jj. Fine. Okay. And if I have to write it in some other form, say resistance analogy format, I can write Qi equal to Ji minus Jj overall summation varying from J varying from 1 to N divided by AI into Fij inverse. Okay. Fine. So the meaning of this is that if I have, say, surface I, its radiosity known, and some surface J whose radiosity is known, and if I have to find out the radiation exchange between these two surfaces, I can simply find with the help of AI into Fij inverse, considering it as resistance and these two as the potentials. Okay. So this term Aij into Fij inverse is something which is called as either space resistance, or it is also called as geometrical resistance because it depends upon view factor. Okay. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is something which we call as space resistance and geometrical resistance, because depending upon the geometrical orientation of the different faces of an enclosure, we are having the variation of this radiation, which is the function of view factor. So now this is something which I have just explained for a one face, but the general case I have taken that I am considering ith face and I have n faces enclosure. Okay, so if I have to find out the interaction of n faces, you will be finding that this is my node 1, where I have this qy as interaction. So EB1 and J1 and this 1 minus epsilon I by AI epsilon I, this will be acting as nothing but our surface resistance. Now this Ji will be interacting with the radiosities of the different surfaces, which are J1, J2 and Jn. Okay, and we will be having some space or geometrical resistances as AI Fi1 inverse, AI Fi2 inverse, something like this. Okay, so you can say that this J1 to J2 represents the, Ji to J1 represents the heat transfer between phase I and phase 1. So QI1. This second represents Ji to J2. This represents heat transfer from phase 1 to phase 2. Similarly, phase I to phase 3. So I can say that total amount of heat transfer from phase I will be equal to nothing but sum of heat transfer J varies from 1 to n Qij. Is this point clear? Can I write from this circuit total heat transfer from surface I will be equal to the heat interaction of the surface I with all other surfaces and their summation. Okay, and we know that this Qi we can write from this resistance analogy also as nothing but EBI minus Ji upon 1 minus epsilon I upon AI epsilon I, and this right hand side just now we have seen we can write summation J varies from 1 to n, and in place of Qij I can write Ji minus Jj divided by AI into Fij inverse. Okay, so this way actually what I will be doing when I'll be writing for this first phase, when my I will be 1, then I'll be getting one equation. When I is 2 for say second phase of the enclosure, then another equation. So like that I'll be getting system of number of equations, and if I solve these equations I will be able to find out the values of individual J1, J2 or say surface temperatures, whatever we want to determine. Okay, is this point clear how we can determine the radiation exchange between the surfaces?
Sir, how was the value of I changing?
I, okay. So at the moment, so let me explain to you. Say we are having a 3-phase enclosure. Okay. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So when you are studying about heat transfer from surface 1, Q1, corresponding to that 2 and 3 will act as J. When you are studying Q2, then your I will become 2 and 3 and 1 will become J. Is this point clear?
Okay, yes, sir. Yes.
So similarly, I will be 3 for Q3. Okay. Any other confusion?
No.
Shall I proceed further?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let me talk about black body radiation exchange. Okay. So in case of black body radiation exchange, what we are doing, we are nothing but once again considering two bodies, 1 and 2, or say multiple bodies, but we want to see that in between these two, if all these are nothing but our black bodies, then how we will be having radiation exchange. So from generalized form, we have got that Qi is nothing but equal to summation J varies from 1 to n, and here Ji minus Jj divided by AI into Fij inverse. Okay. So now if all the surfaces are black body, in that case, can you tell me what will be the value of Ji and Jj? Can I write Ji equal to EBI if I have my surface as a black body?
Yes, sir.
Because we will not be having any reflection. Okay, so all the radiations which are emitted, that will be only equal to black body radiations, And so radiosity will be equal to black body radiations, and all the irradiations will be completely absorbed by the surface. Okay, so under that scenario, I can write Qi to be summation j varies from 1 to n. In place of ji minus jj, I can write EBI minus EBJ and divided by AI into Fij inverse. And this from Stefan Boltzmann law, I can write J varies from 1 to n, and this will be sigma constant Ti4 minus Tj power 4 divided by Ai into Fij inverse. Okay, so this will be the radiation exchange if my all the surfaces are nothing but as a black body. Okay. Now let me show you the resistance circuit for a two surface enclosure. So you can see that this is my surface 1, this is surface 2, and total heat which is going out of this surface is say Q1, total heat which is associated with surface 2 is Q2, and Q12 is the heat associated between the surfaces 1 and 2. So for a two surface enclosure, we will be finding that Q1 will be nothing but equal to Q12, and that will be equal to minus Q2. Okay, because in case of two surface enclosure, from one surface there will be total radiative heat leaving out of the surface, and that will be because if we are only having two surfaces, so that will be equal to the net radiation exchange between the two surfaces, and if one is losing heat, another will be gaining, so that's why it is represented as say minus sign. Okay, and if you make the resistance analogy, you will be having EB1, then J1, then this has the surface resistance, then from J1 to J2 as space resistance, and J2 to EB2 as nothing but our, once again, the geometrical or space resistance. Okay, and similarly, the way we have calculated Qi, Q2, similarly I can calculate Q12 also as nothing but equal to J1 minus J2 divided by 1 by A1 F12. And if you want to find out total heat transfer using the complete circuit, that also you can do EB1 minus EB2 divided by, can you tell me what will be the total resistance in the denominator?
So summation of all the three resistance.
Yes, because it's a series situation. So epsilon 1 A1 and then plus 1 divided by A1 F12 plus 1 minus epsilon 2 divided by epsilon 2 into A2. So this is a simple resistance analogy. Now can you tell me, if I have say 3 faces enclosure, what type of resistance circuit we will get for this? Please tell me from where to start. Say this is my node corresponding to EB1. What I should do now?
Sir, J1, then Q12.
A1 epsilon 1, okay, J1. Then what should I do now?
Sir, I guess two similar chains will be formed, and the nodes will be also connected to each other.
Okay. Will it like this?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what are the resistances?
Sir, 1 second. A1F13.
Tell me. Here.
Will be A2F23.
Here, then one more I have to consider. EB3. What will be the value of resistance?
1 by epsilon 3 upon A3 epsilon 3.
Similarly, 1 over here as
EB2
with 1 minus epsilon 2 by
A2 epsilon 2.
Okay, so like that you can prepare a circuit and then you can just apply different equations. Can you tell me how will be the flow of current? This is say Q1. This will be Q1 to 2.
1, 2. Q1 3.
1, 2, 3, then say
Q2.
2, it will be Q3 and it will be minus Q2. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this way you can like make this resistance analogy and you can actually solve your different questions, say surface temperature or total amount of heat transfer which you need to calculate. Okay, now there is one very interesting concept which is actually specifically about the radiation shields. Okay, so radiation shield is nothing but one additional surface which is provided to decrease the rate of radiative heat transfer. Okay, so for example, if I have a situation when I have two infinite large plates, now can you tell me what will be the rate of heat transfer between these two infinite large parallel plates? Q1, 2, what it will be? Can I write it like this? EB1 minus EB2 divided by, please tell me what will be the total resistance?
So 1 minus epsilon.
Is it correct? Is it correct?
Sir, 1 second. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let me consider that I have put some radiation shield over here. Okay. So you can see this is a radiation shield and the purpose of this radiation shield is to decrease the heat transfer. And say on either side of this radiation shield, emissivity is different. Over here we have epsilon 3.1 and on the other side I have epsilon 3.2. Okay. So now can you tell me what will be the total resistance circuit? The circuit which is drawn over here, is it correct? So first,
Yes, sir. Now resistance will increase.
Yes. So first we will be having this as say surface resistance, then space resistance between 1 and 3, then surface resistance of 3 on left hand side, then surface resistance of 3 on right hand side, and then space resistance from 3 to 2, and then surface resistance of 2. Okay. Is this point clear?
So in that way, we
Yes.
can add number of walls in between, right? Then
Yes,
it will
we can
always
increase.
increase and increase.
Yes, we can increase number of radiation shields also. Okay. So Q1 in this situation will become EB1 minus EB2 divided by total resistance. Like here we have included one shield. Okay. And total resistance will become 1 minus epsilon 1 by A1 epsilon 1 plus 1 by A1 F13 plus 1 minus epsilon 3.1 divided by epsilon 3.1 into A3. So here we are considering different epsilon by considering that emissivity on either side is actually different, taking a most generalized case, plus 1 minus epsilon 3.2 divided by epsilon 3.2 A2 plus 1 by A3 F32 plus 1 minus epsilon 2 by A2 epsilon 2. Okay, so this will be the rate of heat transfer now upon including only one radiation shield. Now, can you tell me what should be the characteristics of the radiation shield? Should it have high emissivity or low emissivity? Please tell me. We know that for an opaque surface, alpha plus rho is equal to 1, and from Kirchhoff's law we know that alpha is nothing but equal to epsilon. So I can write epsilon plus rho equal to 1, and from here I can say that epsilon is nothing but equal to 1 minus rho. Now when we are introducing this radiation shield, this is giving me resistance something like this. Okay. Now the value of this resistance will be more if our epsilon is high or low. If our sealed epsilon is low, corresponding to that, we will be finding that resistance of the sealed is actually low. Okay. So if resistance of the sealed is high. So if resistance of the sealed is high, that will decrease the overall rate of radiative exchange between the two surfaces, which is actually our motive. So if we see, the attributes of the radiation shield should be low emissivity and high reflectivity, because if emissivity is low, automatically reflectivity will become high. So in that case, what will happen? Whatever the radiations are emitted by this surface, majority of fraction of these will be emitted and only small fraction will be emitted to the other side. Okay. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Now let us discuss a special case, that if we have all the emissivities, like of emissivity of sealed and the surfaces to be same, say epsilon 1 equal to epsilon 2 equal to epsilon of sealed on either sides is equal to some epsilon. Okay. So if we have this situation when we were having no sealed, under that scenario, our heat transfer was EB1 minus EB2 divided by 1 minus epsilon 1 upon A1 epsilon 1 plus 1 by A1 F12 plus 1 minus epsilon 2 by A2 epsilon 2. Okay. So now if all epsilons are same, and also consider a special case, if we consider these plates to be of identical area and infinite length. If plates are of identical area, so A1 will be A2 will be AS will be equal to A. Okay. And if all the plates are of infinite length, can you tell me what will be the view factor from F1 to 2? Say if I don't have any shield, two plates are of infinite length are there. What will be view factor from 1 to 2? Please tell me. From the inspection,
Sir, 1.
F1 to 2 will be 1. Okay. So under that scenario, Q no shield will become sigma. If I multiply both sides by area, so sigma into A into T1 power 4 minus T2 power 4 divided by this will become 1 by epsilon minus 1 plus this entire will become 1 plus 1 by epsilon minus 1. So 1 and minus 1 and plus 1 will cancel, and finally I will be finding this heat transfer to be sigma A T1 4 minus T2 4 divided by 2 by epsilon minus 1. Okay. Now let us consider that I am introducing n number of shields. In this special case only, I have introduced n plus 1 shields.
Sir, here we have also considered our body to be black body, right?
No, we are
Sir, then-
considering surface resistance.
So then how did we write sigma A T raised to power 4 minus T2 raised to power 4 formula?
Let me just give you, I think from previous slide you are not recalling. Okay, so when I have these two faces, what will be my resistance circuit? EB1, J1, J2 and EB2. What is this resistance?
Oh, sir, actually, okay, sir, I got it. Sorry.
So when I have, say, n plus 1 shields, okay, now upon the introduction of the one shield, this was our resistance. Okay, so can you tell me, if we are introducing one shield and applying this special case, what will be my final formulation? Q1 shield and whatever the assumption of area and view factor I have taken in the earlier slides, and for emissivity, I am applying all these. So I'll be finding sigma A into T1 power 4 minus T2 power 4 from this particular equation, divided by 1 by epsilon minus 1 plus 1 plus 1 by epsilon minus 1 plus 1 by epsilon minus 1 plus 1 plus 1 by epsilon minus 1. Is it correct?
Yes, sir. A 2 by epsilon will be added in the denominator.
Yes. So I will be finding that sigma A into T1 4 minus T2 4 divided by 2 times of 2 by epsilon minus 1. Correct? This 1 by epsilon is 4 times, and this 1 and 1 is making minus 2. So if I take 2 common, 2 by epsilon minus 1. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So when I am introducing one shield, I am getting 2 times 2 by epsilon minus 1. If I introduce n shields, say in between, if I introduce n number of shields, can you tell me what will be my rate of heat transfer? Sigma A into T1 4 minus T2 4 divided by n plus 1 times 2 divided by epsilon minus 1. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I can say that upon introduction of n shields under the assumed conditions, my heat transfer with no shield relation will become Q no shield divided by n plus 1. Okay, because this quantity is nothing but Q no shield. Okay.
Yes.
Now let us talk about another 3 surface enclosure. But in this 3 surface enclosure, we are having one special type of surface which is called as a re-radiating surface. Okay. So the meaning of re-radiating surface is that, with, say, this is my cavity, this is phase 1, phase 2, this is phase 3. So if you see the corresponding resistance circuit, whatever I have just shown you in the previous slide, so that circuit is actually drawn over here. Now, this one phase of this particular enclosure is considered as nothing but a re-radiating phase. So the quality of the re-radiating phase is that its one side is perfectly insulated. So if its one side is perfectly insulated, we will not be having any net amount of heat transfer going out of this. Okay. And within the medium also, we are considering that, say, at present, that our convection part is negligible, and whatever the medium we are having, actually, that is not participating into heat transfer. Only heat transfer is taking place because of the radiation. Okay. So under this assumption, if I say that here only radiation is happening, and on the other end of this phase is actually, this surface is not having any, this is perfectly insulated and we don't have any heat going out of this phase. Okay. So for this particular phase, we can say that Q heat transfer associated with this phase will be equal to 0, because only it is in thermal equilibrium with the cavity and no heat is going from other side out of this surface. Okay. So Q for re-radiating surface will be equal to 0. Now, from our general formulation, we have studied that Q is nothing but equal to A times J minus G. Okay. So if our Q for a re-radiating surface is becoming 0, we can say that for a re-radiating surface, J will be equal to G. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, if our J is equal to G, so it means the radiosity is becoming equal to nothing but irradiations. Okay. And we also have seen that we are having another formulation of Q. Another formulation of Q is, which says that it is equal to A times, in place of J, if I write, or say in place of J, if I write E plus reflected radiations into G minus G. Okay, so this will become A times E in E plus 1 minus alpha into G, and if this I make this equal to 0, here also we will be finding that, and with this E I can write epsilon into EB, and this alpha also I can write epsilon B. So under this condition we will be finding that this G will also become nothing but equal to EB. Okay, so this is the condition which holds true for a re-radiating surface. So it means in case of a re-radiating surface, there is no meaning of this surface resistance, and we will not be having any heat transfer in this particular direction. Okay, so under that scenario, if in any of the cavity we are having a re-radiating surface, this particular node will not be having any current flow in this direction. So these two resistances can be considered as nothing but series resistance. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a little doubt in re-radiating surface. Like, re-radiating surface doesn't absorb any energy, or it doesn't even radiate any energy, or both.
So basically, the net exchange of energy with the re-radiating surface will be equal to 0. So whatever energy it is emitting, same amount of energy actually it is having irradiation also. Okay.
Okay, so the energy it absorbs is equal to energy it reflects, right?
Yes, it is participating in radiation exchange, because that is the inherent characteristic of any surface, that anything which is above than absolute zero temperature has to participate in the radiation exchange, but net amount of heat transfer associated with re-radiating surface is equal to 0. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now if I take these two resistances as series, can you find out equivalent resistance and tell me what will be the final value of heat transfer from 1 to 2? Q1 will become EB1 minus EB2 divided by this resistance 1 minus epsilon 1 by A1 epsilon 1 plus the resultant of this and these two, and plus 1 minus epsilon 2 divided by A2 into epsilon 2. Now, can you tell me what will be the resultant over here? Resultant over here will be 1 divided by A1 F12 plus A1 F1R plus A2 F2R inverse. Okay. So if you do calculation, you will be finding this as your final equation. Can you do it by your own? This is very simple. These two resistances you have to consider as series, and after that, these two will become parallel. Can you do
Yes, sir,
it?
we can. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, after this, because we have talked about radiative heat transfer, so and while we discussed the radiation, we assumed that other modes of heat transfer are actually not taken into account. But in actual practice, for a real practical scenario, if say we are having some air over here in surroundings of this enclosure, so we will be having some convective heat transfer also. We may have some conduction heat transfer also associated. So to highlight that, we have this depiction of multi-mode heat transfer over here. So we are having some enclosure, and this is one surface of the enclosure, and this surface is having some thickness. So if it is having some thickness, obviously there will be some conduction heat transfer within this thickness of the surface. And say we are having some medium over here, and because of that medium we are having this Q convection heat transfer also associated at the ith surface, and radiation is obviously there, and there is some say external heating also of this surface. Okay, so what you can do, we know the individual formulation of conduction, formulation of convection, we can do calculate these, and whatever the formulation we discussed just now, based on that we can calculate Qy radiation, and external magnitude will be known to us. So the corresponding circuit will become something like this. Say this is our EB1 J1, and when we are considering the radiative heat transfer, we have to include the surface resistance, and this is the external heating this is conduction and this is convection. Okay, and under the special cases, say if our this face is perfectly insulated, we will not be having any flow of heat in this direction, then conduction will become 0. Similarly, if external heat is not there, then it will become 0. So this is the most generalized case. Now, depending upon the individual special conditions which are imposed, we may have actually different types of situations. Okay, is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, one more thing I would like to highlight over here. Till now, whatever the radiation exchange we have studied in between, say, surface 1 to 2, even if we are having some medium, say air in our surroundings, okay, we have not considered the participation of this surrounding medium in the radiation exchange. If you recall to my first lecture on radiative heat transfer, I told that for solids and liquids, we can consider radiation to be a surface phenomenon. However, for gaseous medium, radiation is nothing but a volumetric phenomenon. Okay, so till now we considered that this medium is not participating into the radiative heat transfer. Okay, however, for our actual scenario, when we are having this consideration of medium also into account, there will be actually volumetric radiation exchange in the participating medium also. So for the participating medium, basically that analysis becomes more complex, and that is beyond the scope of this particular course. So that's why over here we considered our radiation phenomena to be nothing but surface phenomena. Okay, and moreover, with participating medium also, if we are having, say, non-polar gases like O2, N2, so these are having very less participation within the radiation exchange. However, if we have, say, polar gas molecules like CO2, NH3, ammonia, okay, and water, H2O, etc., water vapor, so these type of polar molecules are having actually a lot of absorption and scattering of radiations, and it also participates in emissions. So for these scenarios particularly, actually we have to consider the volumetric radiation exchange when we are considering participating medium is also taken into account. Okay, but that is something which is beyond the scope of this particular course. If someone is like really interested in go into more deeper details of the radiative heat transfer from perspective of research, so there are some special courses on radiative heat transfer only, and in that courses you will be finding that the instructor will discuss about the participation or radiation as a volumetric phenomenon. Okay, so that is something which is beyond the scope of this course, so that's why I'm not going to discuss. And if you are really interested, so there is one NPTEL course on radiative heat transfer, so you can refer that. Okay, and one more thing, with this particular lecture over here I conclude the completion of the course, and we will have now like further discussion related to it.